Hey guys, we're back for some more Standard, and I gotta say I am so excited because I made an update here to the mono white aggro deck. I've been jamming some games here today on my tablet, and the mono white humans deck is a lot of fun, and it's got a great win rate, and I love it. But the mono white aggro deck that I was playing beforehand with all the lifelink is so much more fun. So anyways, I wanted to kind of take it back to this deck. I found a really great interaction. Basically what I did is I added 4 copies of Spellbook Vendor. Now, the thing about Spellbook Vendor, it's already great value, but when I realized the interaction between the extra sorcerer rolls that you create and Regal Bunnicorn, it just got out of hand. I mean, this is such a sweet combo with Regal Bunnicorn to be able to just, you know, almost double the amount of permanents you have on the battlefield, you know, over enough time. So I wanted to also find a way to really add like another standalone powerful threat against blue-white control, because blue-white control is definitely the hardest matchup for this deck, and the sideboard that I made definitely reflects that. I've got a transformation sideboard, 14 cards in, 14 cards out. So, at any rate, I'll have a link in the description for my sideboard guide, which is an earlier video in case you missed it. But I am so excited about bringing Spellbook Vendor back into the deck. Also, the other change that I made is after a little while, I had replaced Warden of the Inner Sky with Hopeful Initiate. And Hopeful Initiate is a great card, but Warden just has inherent threat value in a way that Hopeful Initiate just does not. So, you know, this is another card that blue-white control really respects because it can just get out of hand very quickly. And so I think that this gives it the nudge in the deck over Hopeful Initiate. Now, with this build, we've got 11 1-drops. We have 15 2-drops. I also took out the Lantern Flares. As excellent as they are, I think that I just want to go mono creatures, just overwhelm them with threats. I gotta say, if you run this deck against mono red, it is basically a cakewalk. It is some of the easiest wins you've ever had. There's so much life gain between the Veteran, the Lurker Bat, the Steel Seraph, and then you just get completely out of hand Voice of the Blessed. You have like 9/9 Regal Bunnicorns running around. This deck is so much fun, so I highly encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. Let's jump into some games. Also, a full deck list will be in the description as well. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really do appreciate it. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Or maybe dropping a comment or a like, or sharing it with a friend who might like my channel. For my returning viewers, thank you guys so much for coming back. Your support means the world to me. I couldn't do this without you, so thank you guys. Yeah, this hand looks amazing. Got a nice 1/2/3 drop. Okay, let's start out with Veteran. So not entirely sure what we're up against, is it? I guess it must just be Pirates, like Pirates Tribal. Okay, so do we want to go Bunnicorn or Reinforcements here? I think we just want to go Reinforcements into Knight-errant of Eos. So I think given that, I don't want to trade here. So I think we just pass. I guess there's a chance that they could like counter. I can't remember if this deck runs counters. I think I'm actually just going to main phase the Reinforcements here. Like, I want to get the life link, or the life gain here. It's not irrelevant. And I guess I'm happy to trade, because they can like buff up their Pirates. Because like even if we trade, I suppose if they like remove something next turn, you know, I think I'm just going to pass actually. I think the life link is going to be, or the life gain off of the Veteran is going to be worthwhile. And I just don't want to jinx getting this Knight-errant of Eos out in case they've got removal or something. They probably know what's up, but I think we still go for it. I don't know if this deck runs counters, so I guess we'll find out. Okay, I guess they do run counters, and that's fine. Now I think we can shove. Not entirely sure what their plan is here. Let's see, we could go Seraph into Knight-errant, which is pretty fun. Could also go Spellbook Vendor and then use its activation. I actually think I kind of like that a little bit more. Let's do that. This also plays around Make Disappear, at least for the initial vendor. Okay, they've just got all the removal. Let's pick up Voice of the Blessed, because it's going to get completely out of hand. And I guess a Warden is like a backup plan. We've already got Veteran for gaining life and Steel Seraph, so I think just Warden. Okay, yeah, it is a Pirates deck. I thought so. Blade Coil Serpent. Oh, interesting. Never seen that card before. Alright, let's get Voice of the Blessed going. Do they have another counter spell? They do. Okay. That's too bad. Unicorn is still pretty good. Okay, so now we can go these two and then get something into the air, probably the Bunicorn. If they're finally out of counters. Yeah, they're just going to pack it in. That'll work. I'm telling you guys, you gotta play this deck. It is so much fun. It's just like, oh my god. It's like a little kid on Christmas. It's not fair what you do to mono red in the best possible way. So I don't know if you guys have been brewing here for the upcoming new set that's coming out tomorrow, but I am super excited about Delny. I think that card is going to completely break the format, and excited to see the possibilities of where that card goes. I can already think of a couple decks, but I think it's going to, like, there's going to be a completely insane mono white deck with it. There's going to be, it's probably going to be great with, like, Rafine and... oh my god, there's just so many good ways to use that card. And the Cave Bat, or whatever, the 1/1 flyer that nabs a card from their hand. I mean, just think about being able to, like, do that twice. That just, ugh, that's gross. Oh yeah, this hand looks great. So happy we have Warden of the Inner Sky back in the deck. This is definitely, I think, the right card for the 1-drop slot. Yeah, because now we can go reinforcements into Knight-errant, and that feels pretty good. Okay, potentially blue-white control. Or I assume that's what it is. But I think we do want to go Knight-errant here, so we don't get blown out by temporary lockdown. Question is, like, how much do we want to commit? I think maybe we leave Vendor back, because that's kind of like an engine in itself, and Bunnicorn isn't so great by itself. So let's try it this way. This way, if they haven't got the temporary lockdown, they're going to be taking an insane amount of damage. Okay, let's grab Vendor plus Adeline, and that feels pretty good. Yeah. They're just done. I love it. Oh, man. Too easy. But yeah, I'm so stoked for this limited season coming up. There's going to be multiple play-ins for limited. There's going to be a arena open at the beginning of March, which I'm excited about. The qualifier weekend is going to be limited. Super excited about doing tons of drafts for the new set, trying to, like, do as well as I can. Yeah, this hand looks insane. We've got our good turn 1 veteran and turn 2 voice the plus. I mean, hands like this are just nuts. Like, this deck just feels like playing on easy mode in some ways. Even though it doesn't have removal, you just overwhelm and overpower your opponent. I think it's the only deck that I've played where I've literally ignored an opposing Godric because it wasn't doing enough damage, which is just an insane thing to say. I don't think they trade here, because I think that we get a free point. Pretty sure they need that Lord Keeper. Yeah. Alright, we got to get it in before they get Dracosaur going. So I think we do the full... We could go Adeline here. And I mean, Adeline is pretty good. We get like a 5/5 getting in, which is pretty sweet. But like, knight-errant is almost as good. I guess we're not pushing as much damage right away, but this is going to be flying pretty soon. So I think we just go knight-errant here. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Woo! This is a hot one. I can't believe it, but I might not play Adeline next turn because it isn't good enough. Which is a crazy thing to say. Yeah, like hopefully they don't have Dracosaur here, but even if they do, we're like still swinging through it with like an 8/8 or something insane like that. Okay, they have all of the mana in the world. So if we go voice here, this is going to get triple trigger, making it a 5/5 from the attack plus the 2 veterans. I mean, that's pretty good, but I mean, Adeline is also a little bit more mana efficient, and it's also just going to get the double trigger here. Yeah, this is going to get so out of hand. Oh my god. They're already at 4. Unless this is some like crazy combo deck. I don't think that's gonna do it. Yep, there we go. Anyways, you guys should try this deck out. It's completely absurd. All right, let's take a look at the stats. Okay, there's been a couple different versions of this deck. Most recently, so we just went 3-0, which is great. Currently, the deck is at 70% win rate, so 52 wins and 22 losses. 81% on the play, 62% on the draw. And as you can see, it does really well against mono red, 12-3. Blue-white control is going to be kind of one of the tougher matchups. It still does pretty well here because it has so many high-value threats. And I'm convinced that with the addition of this new update, adding in 4 copies of Spellbook Vendor, I can only imagine that that is going to be a better win rate going forward. But at any rate here, yeah, just to quickly recap, it looks like kind of the tough matchups that you run into, like Rakdos Control, Jund, basically Golgari. Those are some of the hard ones because they do have a lot of, just like a ton of spot removal, and then they're able to get some value engines going. So since this deck doesn't really have removal at all, but I think, again, with the addition of Spellbook Vendor, that's going to start changing. So other matchups are looking really good, basically across the board. Anyways, we'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And yeah, thanks for watching.